Look, y'all, this is part two of what we were just talking about, how we need to take care of ourselves and invest in ourselves and say this slogan that it's all about me. This is part two, part two, part two, part two. I think I had we were talking about pastors and how leaders or anyone in a leadership role or anyone who has a lot on their plate. After you have exhausted yourself, you got to have the sense to plug in somewhere and get recharged and refueled. Why? Because you're giving out. We're not those types of individuals that can just keep continually giving out, giving out, giving out, and never get poured back into, poured back into, poured back into. We're just not wired that way. We're not wired that way. We can't do that. We can't operate like that. We will crash and burn. Okay, we will get super exhausted to the point where we will turn away from the things that really gave us joy. And there is a saying about when you have a passion to do something and you have a passion to do it, but then you're being so depleted that you don't operate in that passion anymore. It just becomes a burden to you. It no longer is passion. Passion turns to burden. So it's burdensome for me, whereas before I enjoyed this thing. Prime example, I was in the school system and loved children and just was there doing everything, running and doing this, doing that, doing it, burning midnight oil, doing all kind of stuff, till it got to the point where I was physically, mentally exhausted. I ended up getting out of it altogether. I said, look, this is not for me anymore. I can't do this anymore, because I was running into the issue of ministering, pouring out to all those children at school, and then coming home and I had my own children to deal with, had my own children that I had to invest into. And it was becoming harder and harder for me to compete and keep up with the pace of trying to be everything to everybody. And it exhausted me. So me breaking away for a year, that's what ended up happening. I decided to just resign, quit for a whole year, entire year. And all I really needed was time to get refueled, to go plug in somewhere and get poured into. That's all I needed. I didn't realize that, but it took me a year to realize that that's all I needed to do. And so after that year, I started longing to be around the children again, because that passion started brewing up in me again. I wanted to, go and be of a blessing and to sow seeds, things of that nature. But then, like I said, you will find yourself in those types of situations where if you don't watch it, you will end up pulling yourself and retiring or quitting, because you cannot deal with the fact that you've been so drained, you've been so exhausted, you've been so depleted. So you got to find an outlet. You got to find a way to plug yourself back in. Even a phone you cannot utilize a phone all day, every day and not charge it. Come on now, that phone will, look, that phone will die on you at 2%. You think you're going to make a phone call. By the time that phone call go through, it's dead. So look at that, look at that as an example. Think about all the things that, people do on a daily. We take things for granted. We take people for granted. We take ourselves for granted. And like I said, 2023 should be all about us. Okay? Because if it's not all about you, because you've been neglecting yourself for a long time. Come on now, let's be real. You've been neglecting yourself for a long time, because it's been all about the kids. It's been all about your husband. It's been all about your family. It's been all about ministry. It's been all about my best friend. It's been all about somebody you've been taking care of for years. When is it going to be all about you? When is it going to be about you? Because when you are not here, what good are you? When you get to the point where you have just run yourself down to the ground, to the point where you have transitioned on out of here, what good will you be of what use would you be of for anybody? You gone. So you got to make it up in your mind that it's gonna be all about me, because I got to refuel, I got to regenerate myself, I got to rebuild, I gotta focus, because my focus is on me. You hearing what I'm saying? Come on now, it's got to get to that place. I apologize, y'all, that we had to do two two videos, but I wanted to just go on and just add. I'm gonna add this one. It's just gonna be part 1 and part 2. Sorry about that. My phone cut off. Prime example. See, if I would have detoxed my phone to delete all of the videos that I had in there that were no longer useful, then I wouldn't have gone through that situation. But any old way, Happy New Year to you. God bless you. I pray that all will be well with you this year. I pray that you will start focusing on you this year, because you are important. You are valuable. What you bring to the table. Please don't neglect you. Please don't neglect you, because it's all about me in 2023. All right, you all. God bless you. We will see you back for another Wild Wednesday. All right. Bye-bye.